is dedicated to the recipe, and I say recipe in quotation marks because it's one of those like more of how to do something. It's more of a presentation thing, and it's in the Disney Princess, but it's actually bonus. Also in the Villains Cookbook. In the Princess Cookbook, it's Belle inspired. In this, it's Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. And basically, you're making strawberry roses. And in this one, it's called Enchanted Strawberry Roses, and that's the Belle one. You can kind of see a picture of what it's supposed to look like there. And then in the Villains one, it's called Edible Roses, again, inspired after the Queen of Hearts. And I did notice in the Villains one, there is in the back, they have more like detailed instructions on how to do it. So anyway, we're gonna try to make the edible roses based on these instructions and see how they turn out. So here I have my strawberry and I cut the top off. And the next instructions say to make 4 slits around the base of the berry. Try not to cut the entire way through. Taking my time, being careful here with this. Then I take another strawberry and I need to trim it into very thin slices. When I sliced them into the thin slices, I was trying to make sure they look like rose petals in the thing, and now I'm supposed to insert these into the base. But as you can see, I struggled, so I'm trying to make the slits a little bit bigger and see if I could get it in, but it just didn't seem to want to fit. Again, trying to enlarge the slits and look at them and see if there's a way that I can get them to slide in without destroying the strawberry. And you can watch over the next several minutes as I attempt to do this in a sort of comedy of errors blooper reel where I try to make these strawberry roses. So here's my second strawberry that I'm going to try and attempt to cut these slits on. And here I'm going to also attempt, but I'm still having the same problems with the slits to get these to fit. And even tried a thinner sliced strawberry as well. And this was one of my last attempts at trying this after numerous times, and then I honestly just gave up. Okay, so there was the edible roses, and they didn't turn out. It sounds simple enough following the instructions in the cookbooks, especially this one with the extra steps in the back. I just couldn't get it to work. I mean, it sounds simple. You cut some little slits, you take some smaller pieces and tuck them in to make like rose petals. And you would think it would be easy enough, but as you can see, I just wasn't doing it. And after messing around with it for like 10, 15 minutes, I just gave up. I don't really care. Honestly, can't think of a time in my life where I'm going to need to make these beautiful rose presentations from strawberries to serve to people. The recipes just make the rose and put it on some whipped cream and serve it as a snack, basically, in both cookbooks. So yeah, I mean, at that point, I'll just eat strawberries. If I want whipped cream with them, I'll just dip them in whipped cream. I don't need to go through the fancy presentation with it. And it sounds easier than it was. I don't know if anybody else there has done it and you've had luck and you saw something I was doing wrong and missed, please share me. I mean, I kept trying to cut the rose different ways and get the things to fit in there. and just nothing worked out. I feel like I was missing something. I wasn't getting it. My brain could not wrap its head around how to do this. So yeah, let's get into the rankings and the reviews. First, we'll do the ingredients with which is 1 being simple, easy to find, inexpensive ingredients, and 5 being like harder to find, more expensive. This is definitely 1. It's just strawberries and whipped cream, if you want to serve it as it recommends in the recipe. Otherwise, you're just buying strawberries and trying to make these roses. Difficulty, I have to give it a 5. It's really difficult. Maybe it's really not. It's just something I couldn't get. But for me, I couldn't figure it out. So I just, like I said, I gave up. There was no reason for me to mess with it. It's not important to me to try and master this skill. When I make it again, with a 1 being never and a 5 being absolutely, it's definitely a 1 for me. I'm never going to probably attempt to make these again. Who knows if anybody out there watching has a tip or a suggestion. Maybe someday if I have strawberries, I'll give it a whirl again and see what happens. But again, it's not to be ignorant or to not care about anybody who might like this stuff. I have no reason to do, make my strawberries look like roses in the future. It looks beautiful, but I just can't think of why I would do it. So there we go.